we are obviously way past the point where the CPC should move on from Pierre Poilievre. Come on. Does anybody here that's right of center in Canada even care about winning? Let me know in the comments if you disagree. I'm sure a lot of people do disagree with that statement, but I just think it's totally reasonable. Poilievre is not doing nearly enough to catch up in the polls. Anyway, I'll make more points on that as we go. I'm going to read this post here from this account, Gerv. When you're down 2 to 3 points, you can blame Trump. But when you're down 10 plus point, that's not a Trump issue anymore. That's incompetence at the CPC. I don't even understand what the plan is anymore. They need to stop being so soft and start differentiating themselves from Carney to regular Canadians so that people actually care what they have to say. I totally agree with that comment. We should be running on massive economic reform. Why are we obsessed with dumb stuff like Pierre not smiling enough and the tone he speaks in? Genuinely baffling. We were doing better before he changed his personality because at least we weren't irrelevant. Exactly. The CPC needs to understand that Stephen Harper would lose an election right now, probably by a lot to Carney. I had not thought of that comment until I read it here, but I do actually agree with that. That means the CPC needs to be different from how they won previously. Running on soft reform won't work. I mean, I totally agree with this. It also seems like there are 7 people in the country that feel this way. That's actually what it seems like. There's still a lot of Poilievre cheerleaders out there, way too much. What is he doing to earn your support? Don't you want to win? It's been 11 years in Canada since we've won. We're way behind in the polls. I'll play a video here now that talks a little bit about that, but Poilievre, maybe on a weekly basis, will say something based and then go right back into hiding. Okay, I'm going to now react to this video from City News. The thing is, Poilievre's policies, I'm fine with. I don't agree with all of them, but if Poilievre could actually win and then implement his policies, I'd be chill with that. Maybe I'd agree with 7 out of 10. I think that's good enough. How is he going to win? To me, Poilievre is incredibly lazy. We need somebody in there, even if I disagreed with their policies a little bit more than Poilievre, because on policies, me personally, I'd be pretty aligned with Poilievre, but man, it doesn't matter if you don't win. Let's take a look at this video.
The numbers for the Liberal Party are holding pretty steady, and their lead, though, is pretty solid, too. Currently, this survey by Liaison Strategies of 1,526 people, it was a telephone survey, considered to be accurate within 2.5%.
A recent video, by the way. You can see this poll, April 27 to May 9.
Points in either direction, so keep that in mind with all these numbers. But really, this is a very clear lead for the Liberals, coming in now 11 percentage points ahead of Pierre Poilievre's Conservatives. The Liberals at 40.
Another thing I gotta say, Conservatives in Canada, please quit coping on these polls. They would not all be incorrect. If the polling was so incorrect and the Conservatives were actually close to the Liberals, they would be pushing more for an election. I don't see any Conservatives doing that at all. They're obviously losing by a lot. I'm skeptical of mainstream news like anybody else. I mean, my other YouTube channel is pretty much constantly making fun of the media, so I'm not some media cheerleader, but the Liberals are obviously way ahead of the Conservatives. And something, I mean, again, I'll make the point, don't we want to win? I want to win. I don't want to go 20, 30 years with no representation in Canada. There's so many problems in Canada. It would be, in my opinion, relatively easy for the Conservative Party to eat into that lead if they just took on every issue. They're so afraid. Trans issues, LGBT, immigration. There's so many issues they seem to just be afraid to go in on. Look at down south. Trump and MAGA, they go at every issue, it seems like. Is Trump ever afraid to comment on a story? I don't think so, but it's not just Trump. Guys like Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, J.D. Vance, they all just, every story they give their take on. Who cares if they're wrong a little bit? Conservatives in Canada are so afraid of being a little bit incorrect to the right. They'll be incorrect to the left. That's fine. They'll be centrist. They'll be like Aaron O'Toole, maybe Jason Kenney. It's like they're so afraid of being 1% too right wing for Canada. Ridiculous. Who cares if you make a few mistakes in the other direction? Maybe you say some wild, way right wing stuff sometimes. Who cares? You don't even know where the country is if you don't try anything.
4% when you look at decided and leaning voters, and that's pretty much right where they were in the election that ended at the end of April last year in 2025, but the Conservatives were much closer then. In this case, now the Conservatives are running around 33%, and the New Democrats down in 10%, still kind of mired, having issues with their, they've got a new leader yet, but he's not really known to that many people. But if you look at the Carney's sort of personal approval ratings, this seems to be a real love affair that Canadians are having with him right now, and it is, a year in, still actually enduring. Carney's overall approval rating, 58% approval, disapproval, only 34%. That is
Poilievre's fault that it's so high. I'm sorry. It's just the truth. Poilievre should be going at Carney's job all the time. Carney's been in there now for over a year. He's not doing a good job. What has Carney even done? He's made the relationship with America way worse with that stupid Davos speech and a bunch of other stuff he says that's so delusional, that the world order is going to emanate out of Europe or whatever Carney said. It's so ridiculous. Like, I made that point before. Carney's not doing a good job at all. The only improvement Canada has gotten is Carney's not an embarrassment when he speaks. Trudeau was a legitimate embarrassment. Carney's not, stupid, but he's not doing a good job. What has he even accomplished in his time in office? It's very little.
Unusually high number for someone who is a prime minister this long into the job, and considering that he hasn't really sort of achieved some of the things that he said he was going to do in the election campaign, that is solve the trade dispute, or at least make progress on the trade dispute with the United States.
He's never going to. That's my opinion. I don't think Carney will ever solve the trade dispute with America. I don't even think he's politically motivated to do so. And again, it's Poilievre's fault. If Poilievre was shining a light on Carney's incompetence with America and actually, on a daily basis, showing Canadians how dependent and how much we gain from our relationship with America, Poilievre only does it a little bit, and conservatives in Canada give Poilievre way too much rope. Where's your boy? My boy, too. I mean, I'd like him to be better, but I don't like Poilievre as it stands today. Absolutely not. I liked him in early 2024, but I haven't liked him for about 2 years. Maybe once in a while he'll talk about the special relationship or something with America. He should be explaining to Canadians on a daily basis how much we gain from being friends with America and why Carney is failing us. That actually, again, I don't think it would be that difficult. How is Poilievre still the leader, guys? Come on. I like Jamil Javani. I don't know. You got to pick somebody. Put him in there. Let somebody else try. How long can this go on? Like that post I showed at the beginning. Poilievre has been losing for a long time, and he seems sort of chill about it. That's the other part. Where's the urgency from Pierre Poilievre?
As well as get some of these major projects going. Of course, there's lots of action happening there. And last weekend we had that meeting, or last week on Friday we had the meeting between Carney.
Carney must be laughing his head off when he goes to sleep at how weak Pierre Poilievre is.
And Alberta's Premier Danielle Smith about getting that project going. But still, he is doing extremely well right now. On the other hand, Pierre Poilievre, he got 87% in that leadership review among party faithful. Back in January, they had that event in Calgary. That was seen as a very, very strong sign of support for him.
Yeah, that was a good day for Poilievre. Where has he been ever since?
Within the party membership. However, it's not translating into the general public. Overall, Pierre Poilievre's favorability rating, 36% favorable, 51% unfavorable. That is a real issue for him.
I'm not going to criticize Carney on foreign soil. How's that working out? 51% unfavorable. You're trying to be this nice person. I don't even care about the nice guy thing in terms of you want to be nice in your life. It's fine. It doesn't work in politics. Trudeau's not nice. Trudeau doesn't care about offending the right wing. He would do that every single day. He doesn't give a crap. Carney doesn't care. That Davos speech, what was that for? He didn't care about offending sensible Canadians that know we need America. I mean, that was offensive to me. I don't want to live in a country that's getting worse, longer wait times in hospitals, less job opportunities. I don't like that. Carney doesn't care. Poilievre, I'm not going to offend him on foreign soil.
And it just doesn't seem to change. We've seen him kind of change tact, stylistically, different tones, different approach. He did that tour where he went to the United States, toured around there, gave some speeches, did the same thing in the UK and also in Germany. Hasn't really changed his numbers a whole lot. So we're in kind of
true what he said. Poilievre has done these style shifts. He went on that tour. These polls would be post-Rogan, post-Diary of a CEO. It isn't working. Come on.
Now, as we head into, we're in a break week right now in Parliament, Karen. The House of Commons shut down for the next 2 weeks because of the Victoria Day holiday. And then we're going to come back and have, maybe about a month or so of more sitting days till somewhere between mid and end of June. And then they go on the summer break. And of course, the summer break really crucial because we're heading up to that deadline for the review of the Canada-U.S.-Mexico trade agreement, the CUSMA, which is supposed to be done by July 1st, although it's looking increasingly like we aren't going to get to that point anytime soon. Probably not going to make that deadline. None of this, though, seems to hurt Mark Carney. His personal approval, it has slipped slightly. It was 60% a couple of weeks ago, now down to 58%, but that's bouncing
58 is still so high
around within the margin of error. That really isn't significant. The story here, Karen, is Mark Carney, a year in, still very popular, while Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre, his popularity falls, and the Liberals reaping the benefit of this electorally. 11-point lead. If we were into an election today, we're not, but if we were, it would very likely be a strong Liberal majority.
Carney would crush so hard. It's so
Isn't
sad,
significant.
man. I think Poilievre should step down for the good of the country, the good of the Conservative movement. I like Giovanni. That'd be my name to get in there. I think Giovanni, whatever. It's hard to say if someone's a hard worker before they're actually the leader, but I think the number one requirement right now of the CPC leader is you got to be a hard worker. You got to go every day, constantly criticize Carney. Do press conferences, do interviews, do podcasts, post a bunch. Poilievre does not post nearly enough on the internet. What the heck is his strategy? It actually, anyway, if you're watching this and you're a Poilievre fan, I just truly don't get it anymore. I think we deserve way better in Canada as people who are right of center, and I'm not going to pretend to like Poilievre. He's failing all of us. So with that said, I'll finish the video. Please like, please subscribe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Have a great day.